Yes,
Oh
of
my
course.
gosh.
Yes, of course.
Привет. Привет.
Привет. Hi, how are you?
I
I
am
am.
good.
I am.
We have a lot of really excited people here to see you, including
Thank you.
this one,
Thank you.
mostly.
Um, this is gonna be almost like behind the scenes story.
Okay.
Oksana, if you do live IG with Oksana Baiul, it will take her 10 minutes. Team can tell you this. Team Davids. It
He
happened
was he
exactly.
was chiming in the chat. He was telling us
It
that
happened the
everything's going to
same
be
thing
okay.
with him. It was like, Tim, please bear with me. I'm not a young generation. I don't sleep with my phone. I don't walk with my phone.
That's good. Honestly, that's for the better. Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here and having this chat on Instagram Live. Um, I know I speak for my whole entire generation, especially all the people here on Instagram, and saying that you are such an inspiration and a legend, and you need no introduction, but world champion, Olympic champion, you mean so much to so many people, and being able to chat with you in this kind of casual way is just a really huge honor for me. So thank you.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say how exciting it is for me to speak to you because behind the scenes, a lot of people know how much LGBT means to me.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, after 27 years, you are the first person who came out as a woman in our sport. Congratulations to you. It means a lot to me too. And, I will speak on what I loved my whole entire life.
Mm-hmm.
LGBT community. I mean, it's something that I never separate. Like, this is people and this is LGBT community.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's just who they are and what they are, and it's very important not to separate.
Mm-hmm. We have to start with something I've been practicing though while we were waiting. Мы поговорим по-английски для этого интервью.
Yes, that's very well. That's very good. Thank you so much.
Okay. I know we have some Russian speakers, so I just wanted to shout out and say we'll be speaking in English for this.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
No, well, I mean, I know you know, but I've been practicing, and some people in the chat have been helping with my pronunciation.
Thank you. I have a lot of stories to tell, so I can tell you so many stories.
Amazing.
About me learning English, but let's just move on.
Okay. Well, I would love to hear what was, the community that you grew up in. You're from Ukraine. What was it for people in the LGBTQ community when you were growing up that you could see, and what were you taught as a child, with from your background?
I was growing up in old Mississippi, and I was growing up as Soviet. Mm-hmm. So propaganda was really, really big in Russia. And my grandmother, when I learned later on, she was Jew. And I never knew that when she was alive. I heard about it kind of like whispering, here and there. And she was the one who brought me to church. And I understand, and I felt God in my life many times. Mm-hmm. I mean, don't think it's something, wrong. I mean, some people feel it, some people don't. I've felt it a couple times. It really, like those bright lights, they came on and you believe and you feel like the higher power is helping you. Mm-hmm. But am I pro-church? Not really, because what happens is when I realized I'm Jewish here in America, I have Jewish blood. My mom was Jewish, because in Jewish religion, you take after, Jew, basically. So my grandma was Jew. That means makes mama, and that means makes me Jew. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much it. And I have realized, you can't believe to what people tell you. You have to make your own decisions. And church sometimes likes to separate people, and I am saying this because I've been one of them who used to say, okay, this is this way and this is that way, and that's how it's supposed to be. I don't believe in it. I believe to make my own decisions and to really realize who you are. LGBT, when I was growing up, we didn't even hear about it. I I've met probably for the first time in my life when I came to Champions and Ice in 1993. Um, uh, I've been kind of like told, like Rudy Galindo and Mark Mitchell, they were, first people who I've met pretty much from the LGBT community. And then from 93, it slowly started to progress. And in my heart, I fell in love with people, not with who they are and how do you divide them and separate them.
That's so beautiful. And I imagine that was different for the time, right? That wasn't the normal, to see people for who they are.
I respect people always. I've been in this business for so long. I mean, some people, they look at me and they still think I am 16. I'm 43 right now. And I've lived already so many different, I would say, lives, Olympics, and things changed in life. And I am grateful to be able to speak to you and to be able to be who you are. I mean, who we are, who you are. It's really important, it's really important to be able to be accepted in this world for who you are. And I really don't care anymore. I make bold statements. Some people accept them, some people don't like it. But I come to realization that you can't make everyone happy. Certain
Right.
people will love you, certain people will hate you. Hey, it's life. And sometimes I've been studying in, Buddhism. Whatever God sends you, it's pretty much your reflection. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you meet people in life and it's pretty much like your reflection. So it's like, we have to see what's good in people. We have to be able to, open up our minds and not to concentrate on negative. We have to concentrate on positive. Otherwise you can't live your life. You always have to, see light. You always have to, pray for the best in life. That's pretty much what I do. And to me, I love people for who they are, and I don't see dark, black, white, green, yellow. It just, to me, people are people.
Were you ever persecuted for this type of ideology?
I
Whether in the former Soviet Union or even here in the United States?
I used to go out with gay guys, and media used to write about it all the time. Oh, she went out with the gay guys. And some people used to think, okay, this is great. And some people probably used to think something else. It's yeah. But see, I always accept lemons, and I always try to make lemonade from them. And we are not even where we used to be in the 90s. It's a
Right.
different world. I mean, we're in 2021. It's just,
Right. Do
you
you
know,
see that? Do you see that change also happening in Russia?
I what I think of that is,
Is there any
if you
change?
if you will not talk about it on TV, okay, it's not going to make any less gay people living in Russia. Okay, all it's called suppression. That's all it is, in my opinion. I mean, certain things, they've been here before me, and they will be here after me or you or,
Yes.
certain people around the world. That's how I feel. And I feel I have so many, many, many gay people around me, and they all dealing with Sophia, our uncle is gay,
Hmm.
and it doesn't mean that, anything. It just,
Hmm.
it means that we're dealing with pretty much everybody,
Hmm.
like you can,
Hmm.
yeah.
Right. I mean,
And
that's to me a great ally is to say, like, I see people for who they are, and it doesn't matter, and you support people to the end too. Can you tell us a little bit about, like, your friendships here in the States, and maybe how they were even discouraged? You said that you had been to a nightclub with gay men, and and for whatever reason you have, like, that's your prerogative, but and people maybe weren't saying nice things, but, like, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
absolutely, my first love and passion was, um, where I realized, these people are, you know, um, what they used to call them, I guess, very different than gay, is from, um, sitting down in Johnny Lavoie's chair, makeup chair and hairdresser chair. And I used to tell him, I used to tell him stories. I used to tell him how, I do this event and I do that event. And he will start traveling with me to a lot of different events. And it become like, behind the scenes, I know a lot of people used to say things about me in the 90s. Oh, here is Oksana coming with her gay guys, because my whole team, the makeup team and the hair team, was all gay, you know. And behind the scenes, it was very kind of like, strangely, um, accepted. That's what I could describe that as. I know a lot of people who kind of like were, I don't know, behind the scenes, they were saying things like, oh, like this and that. And I really didn't care. And my favorite story with Johnny is when, him and I, we were, we were like a family, basically. I had no family when I moved here, and he was my family. And his mother was my family, Trish. So we were spending a holiday together, one of the Christmas. And he bought a big Christmas tree. And we were decorating. And he was telling me, because I was a child at that time, I was 16, please, Oksana, be careful, please. You say that to your kids. Please be careful, please, please, please don't fall down on the ice, please. And I didn't listen, so the whole Christmas tree fell down on me. and he was just like, Oksana, oh my God, are you okay? I told you so. So when he came to work to Vegas like a few years ago, I bought him a big Christmas tree, a big Christmas ornament, and I gave it to him. And I said, "Do you remember this story? I mean, this story will live forever in my heart." And another story is something that he pretty much taught me how to do my hair and how to do my makeup, and he introduced me to his friend. And one of that person used to work for MAC cosmetic stores at the mall at that time. That we are speaking of the 90s. And his name used to be Jose, and now she's Josie, and she is happily living her life as Josie in New York
Hmm.
City, and she does have a
Hmm.
little girl.
Hmm.
And
Beautiful.
this is my relationships with gay community. And
Hmm.
I have been always, I mean, art world is just so different, because sometimes people create certain things and they just don't understand, what they're creating. So to me, it's God. Sometimes God speaks through people, so they create something and it becomes something that everyone talks about it. So that's just the way how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that, I mean, it comes down to, your personal expression and how you feel inside, and I think that's kind of a similar thing is how you feel compelled to express yourself, whether that's an athlete, in sport or in art or, in art, in your hair. Like, shout out Johnny Lavoie. I know you're here and thank you for all that you do. But let's talk about what's going on right now. I just, as a disclaimer, I want to express that this is not meant as a personal target. But I think that we have a really great learning opportunity here because of recent events targeting the LGBTQ plus community and their freedom to express in the rhythmic gymnastic event. We have an opportunity to look at this with compassion. And why I wanted to speak to you also is to hear kind of, you have firsthand experience of growing up in the USSR and, what could inspire someone to come from that place to make the comments that Nafka made. So I want to hear, from your perspective, first of all, what your thoughts are when people from the Russian community or Russian background make these disparaging, hurtful comments towards a community that I associate with, and also that you so clearly advocate for and consider family.
First of all, I'm frozen.
Tell her you need to call her right back. Just tell her you're going to hang up and
Oh,
call
you're not
her right
frozen?
back. You are frozen. 3 times it's frozen.
Really?
Yeah. On her end, she's got a perfect feed, but you're frozen.
Oh. Are you sure?
You just need to hang up and restart the feed. It's the internet.
Does anybody else see Oksana
Am I frozen or am I? That's a famous
On me,
song,
you're okay.
Frozen.
Let's see if anybody else. Oh,
No, you're not
I think we're okay.
frozen.
Look up.
Oh,
Okay.
everybody says.
What do they say?
They
I see
say
her.
they say okay.
All good. No. Everything is fine. Wow. Okay. Okay. We see you. Okay. Loud and clear. Okay. Okay, you good? It's the world of technology on top of everything.
I know.
Well, let me answer your question. And
yeah, just tell me your thoughts. What are your thoughts?
I will try to be very crisp about what I think of those type of comments. A lot of people, they LGBT community has been here forever. What I'm talking about, gay people. But when somebody makes a comment about LGBT community, it always makes headlines, and we all know, that from what she wrote, Russians, they cannot propaganda gay propaganda is not, I guess, openly you can, talk about it. From what I understand, I have been there. I have not been there forever. But it doesn't make that Russia doesn't have less gay people. People are people. And when people born, they don't ask for the color of their eyes, and I really honestly believe, some people think it's a choice, and I really My dog is outside. And I honestly don't think it's, you know, it's a choice that people make. It's something that how they have been born. We have a fun interview.
It's
My
life.
dog is
That's what I
barking
love about
outside.
this.
And this is pretty much where I come from, you know.
Yeah.
It's not a choice. I mean, some people realize that at 5, and some people realize that much later in their time. But you can't lie to yourself. You know, you always know who you are. You have to be honest with yourself, and that's why, you know, I mean, people can kind of like feel like, okay, maybe I'm not gay, maybe I'm gay. You know, some people get married and then they say I'm gay. They admit it to themselves because of their own opinions, and that is the way how I feel.
Do you think it's fear of just even the unknown, you know, fear of being
Yeah,
different,
absolutely.
that
Oh yeah,
people like come up with that type of ideology from such a young age, and that's normal, you know, to
oh yeah,
not want
oh
to
yeah,
be different.
oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I don't think you are that much different than me, because there is a lot of children out there who need parents, and you know, it comes down to be what's right for you. You know, that's pretty much what it is.
hmm What do you think an ally can do who's maybe living in Russia or living under this kind of like community pressure, you know, to not stand out, to not be different? Um, what would you say to those people that are under that don't know what to do, or you know, want to be a good ally for the queer community? What advice would you give them?
Well, first of all, it's health. It's mental health issues, right? I mean, that's what it comes down to. And I will say people really have to be honest with who they are, and they have to be honest with what they want out of themselves. And sometimes, you know, they like when I it's a great story. When I met my husband, he called me because he needed New Jersey celebrities to do an event for him. And he used to be on the board of directors for Rainbow House and Triad House. And he used to work with his really good friend Mary and Zana. So what Mary was doing, she was taking kids into her Triad House, into her house, the ones that were not accepted by the parents, and they were just telling them, if you are gay, just, you know, go, walk away. You're not our child. And yeah, that's how I met my husband. My husband was, he called me, we have met, and, you know, I said, of course I'm gonna do this event for you. And, you know, he is from the showbiz, and basically, you know, Whitney Houston used to donate her dresses, and they used to sell them at auctions, and they used to, you know, take that money towards the, you know, towards help.
That's
And
so beautiful and so
and
needed.
ba- and basically, a lot of people would do it just because of the goodness of their heart.
hmm Beautiful, beautiful. Um, Quick question. I only have a couple more for you, so we're getting close. But just to review, the athlete that has been so talked about and discussed, and who is really, I think, um, being shown as an amazing example for being different. Christo, the rhythmic gymnast from Spain. We talked about just even the costume that he was wearing, how that could be seen as something subjective. And I know that, you know, when I first saw him, like
I thought it
this
was
incredible
great.
athlete
Yeah,
in this
that's what I
amazing
thought.
costume.
I literally thought, I looked at him and I said, oh my God, this is like ancient Rome. And I did not know anything about it. Okay.
Right, and it's
I
so similar
so,
to skating. It's so similar to what
absolutely,
we see
absolutely.
in ballet and skating, and you know why it's getting targeted in rhythmic gymnastics. You know, I think it says a lot about what we think is masculine and feminine, and especially in different areas of the world. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think a lot of costumes has been created over the years, and people
Hmm.
always trying to create something new, and exciting because of the ratings, I mean,
Mm.
I will say one thing to you. We all remember Taller Cranston. We all remember very interesting, very different type of figure skaters, that just stay with you. You know what I mean? And by Taller Cranston, by the way how he used to skate and what he used to wear, it doesn't make him, a good skater or a bad skater. That's just the way how I feel.
Hmm.
And about the gymnast who wore that outfit, when I saw him, I wasn't in shock at all. At all.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
I was kind of like, wow, that's great. That's something
Hmm.
new. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
my God, like, this is amazing. And
Hmm.
basically, it came down, then I kind of like read the post and I'm like, huh? Like, what? Like, what? Like, so I I googled it, and basically he is from Europe,
Hmm.
and a lot of Europeans, they stay in touch with their history. And if anybody knows the history, in the very ancient Rome, men used to wear those type of costumes. So to me,
Hmm.
it was absolutely normal, you know. And when I see a lot of skaters, some of them, they wear costumes that has less sequins, and some of them, they do have costumes that are more sequins, but it doesn't make them to be any less manly or any less, feminine. It's just
Hmm.
what it is. It's an art form. See, a lot of people look at figure skating like it's, quads. I see that as the flavor of the month, you know, because nobody's tuning in to see that. Nobody can relate to it. Nobody can do it, you know. And it's just like, okay, you do your quad at 15, and what's next? You
Hmm.
know, where is the artistry? Where's the, where's your legacy? Like, what do you want out of skating? So to me, quads is not the legacy. That's just the way how I feel.
Right. It's, do you feel it's in the artist's expression and soul, you know? What do you feel is the legacy of athletes and artists and skaters?
I'm not the first one who did swan lake, but a lot of people in the figure skating world before me, I think Sonia Henny did swan lake, and couple older Russian women skaters did that too. But when I came out with this one and I did it, uh, it was very different for that time. It was
Mm-hmm.
something, I mean, a lot of people, when they were watching the Olympics between Tanya, Nancy, Oksana, they were all saying, what the is she wearing? Like, why does she have this bender? Like, a lot of American audience, like, they had no idea, what the swan lake is, you know? So I think legacy is when you take something new and you create it, and it's also called a trademark, you know.
Mhm.
And the legacy is something that you reintroduce in your own way for what you are and who you are, and people respond to it, and you
Mhm.
can deliver it to them the way that they will say, okay, I don't understand what it is, but I will try to understand it, and I love it so much, and I will try to learn about it. That's pretty much is my understanding. I think by me being a mother and by me start teaching Sophia skating, I
Mhm.
have learned so much about myself. It's crazy through her eyes,
Mhm.
because I listen to her. I listen to what she has to say. You know, like, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think teaching is just a beautiful process in our lives. And
Mhm.
I think I have taught people because, after me, everybody wanted to be a swan.
They still
you
do,
know, I
actually.
mean, after I did it, there were so many different swans came out in other people's feelings, males or females. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
That's
and they're still doing it to this
Yeah,
day. But you're
which
number
is
one, Oksana.
amazing. I mean, which is just amazing because it's not it's not my creation, it's my interpretation, you know?
Yes. Well, you
But
were being yourself. You know what I
exactly,
remember is that like
exactly.
you were so committed and invested in the story and what it meant for you, and you had this like you lived as the swan, and that's what is so moving and memorable to me, and that's what I think what your message is. Like I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what I hear, just is to say like your message, just even by you being you, is that it's safe to be you.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
everybody should be your really,
that
like it should come from inside.
you are totally, totally right. Everyone, my message is to be who you are. And my message is not to post just because someone will pay $2 for you. That's pretty much is my
Yeah.
message. Yeah, I mean, be who you are, believe to what you are, and don't
Yeah.
do it because don't. To me, it feels like, oh my God, there is. I mean, our world of figure skating. Some people came out, some people still in the closet, but pretty much we have so many representatives from LGBT community, and I have been thinking why there is no more women, okay, like you
Let's
in
hear it. What are your thoughts? Why do you feel like we don't have queer women in skating that much? Queer women who are out. Let me rephrase. Why is that
money.
around the world?
Money. It's the same thing like in Hollywood. Men makes more than
We were
women.
just talking about. I mean, I was talking with the people while we were waiting. Just number one, about how historic your support is, how important it is, how inspiring it is, and I know that have lived your life with this openness and this open heart, but I just want to say that it means so much to people in the LGBTQ community and just anyone who's facing some sort of adversity for being different in whatever that means. It's not necessarily in your orientation. It can be in your gender expression, in the color of your skin. It's just, having an advocate like you, especially coming from a place where it's not accepted to be like that, is really important. And there's there's just a really big support for you doing this.
I honestly think it's so hurtful, when somebody makes when somebody is saying things like, this costume is for a woman, or something like that. Um, I don't know. It's just me. This is just the way how I feel. I feel homophobia is a big problem. Is a big problem for people. It's getting better. It's much better, but it still need to be taught to people and explained it better, because a lot of people, they think it's your choice, it's something that you choose to do. And I've asked my gay friends, and they don't I mean, especially like in the 90s when I used to deal with them a lot, and they used to be a part of my family. They did not wish that life that they had to live back then. I mean, now it's getting better. Now government is giving more grants, it's giving more money towards it. But a lot of people, they still don't understand it. To them, they think it's something that people are not born with. And to me, I totally think it's something that you're born with, and that's it. Do you know what I mean?
It is. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. But even to hold that truth, is special. We have a few comments in there saying men have worn skirts and tunics for thousands of years. Pants are only very recent in history. Like,
Absolutely.
true that, and
Absolutely.
like
That's
also,
why, yeah, that's why when I saw this, this European gymnast, doing what he loves to do. I mean, if um, men was competing like 40 years ago in a rhythmic gymnastics already. This is not the first time.
yeah,
They've been allowed to do that already.
yeah.
This is nothing new. So what I said, either you accept that or not, that's a different question. All right.
Right.
So the reason is why I am speaking to you, and I am so excited, because I really have never spoke about it like openly, and I'm speaking it to you, and I feel like, wow, this is amazing. This is amazing experience, because God just gave me the gold medal. It's the same thing like this. People are saying the gold medals, they're giving to you, and you are chosen, and all that type of stuff. So, it was a lot to handle when you're 16. You get your gold medal, and then you say, okay, I'm on top of the podium. Now I'm moving to America. Okay, what's going on? A different culture, but either you embrace it, you don't. It's up to you. So basically, at the age of 43, I feel a lot of people might disagree with me, and that's okay. That's totally okay. That's their opinion, they should have their opinion. They're entitled to their opinion. Okay. And I have my opinion, and thank God Johnny Lavoie is doing your hair, and I'm by the way, they look amazing. You look beautiful as a blonde. I went back to my natural hair anyway. Yeah, and thank God Johnny, put you and me in touch, and he actually thought, okay, this is gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic. Honestly, you are the first one in our world who came out, and our world, I mean figure skating world, and you said what you said, and this is just fantastic. And if people don't like it, they don't have to tune in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They
Absolutely.
don't have to tune in. They don't have to, you know, turn their TVs on and see our talk. But I love it. I could not thank you enough for the
Oh my
opportunity you
gosh.
gave
Thank you.
me to speak about LGBT community because I honestly think it's really important. It's really important.
Well, I can't stress enough how grateful I am for your time and your heart. And I hope that we can continue being friends now after this, and we will have so many more things that we need to talk about. But thank you everyone for being here and for your feedback and your questions. And I will be saving this live so people can watch it back. But you know, I just want to say that you know, for me coming out, it was important because you know, I didn't see someone like myself when I was growing up. And I think that that would have, you know, made my life a little bit easier when I'm so confused and questioning and ashamed of who I am. But that's, you know, what motivated me. And the difference here, and I think my final point to make is that everyone has their own opinion, but it's when you are outright hurtful to other people. That's where, you know, I'm going to stand up and say, I'm going to use this platform to have these conversations and come from a place of compassion, but really to stand up for people in our community. And I just cannot thank you enough for joining me on this journey. And, you know, you are an incredible ally, always have been, I'm learning, and I'm sure always will be. So thank you so much.
Well, I see a lot of Russian text here, and a lot of people just start writing in Russian, and this is where, you know, I would like to translate to you somebody who doesn't even have a photo, you know, in the icon. Okay, it's you don't even know who the heck is writing this to you. Okay, at least some people, they have enough courage to have photos when they're writing things to me, and they're saying to me, I'm going to translate this. They wrote that to me in Russian. You should understand there is no successful transgenders has been in the world of figure skating. Okay? And I'm like, why people separating? Okay, like why?
This is the reality of so many queer
This
people,
is,
you know.
yeah, this is something that they write and they want me to, I don't know, it's like I don't even know who these people are, because I see a lot of people tune in to our conversation and I see their photos. I can tell, okay, this is Johnny, this is Tim, this is Kate. And when those hurtful things that people saying, they don't even have their photos. They're the ones who are hiding.
That's right.
Not we are. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
They're the ones
Say it
who
for
are
the people in the back,
hiding.
Oksana. Yes, you are so
Yes,
absolutely.
and they don't even know who they are. This is just the bots, you know, like the fake accounts. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my God, like I used to even answer to them, but I stopped because there's so many of them sitting behind their computers writing nasty things, you know, about like, you know, no, step up for yourself, come out, you know, be who you are. At least give us your name. Don't sit behind the
Yeah, let's have a
computer
conversation about
and
it.
write stupid
I mean,
things, hurtful
that's the thing
things.
too. Like you can't blame someone for where they're starting, but like let's engage in a conversation. You know, let's talk about it. If this is something that, you know, you believe in, and you know, there's always going to be two sides, and no matter what it is, right? And you know, that's just the
Absolutely.
reality for
There's
the queer
always being
community.
two sides.
But let's
Absolutely.
talk about it. Let's engage. Let's, you know, and there are so many people that just don't have that in them. And again, I just want to thank you for being so visible.
Yeah, I'm absolutely happy, and I'm absolutely thrilled that this year for my country, they had two people, male and female, who were carrying the flag at the Olympics at the opening ceremony, just because it's LGBT supported. You know, I mean,
Wow.
a lot of people, they do know I was born Russian, but I won the gold for Ukraine. So I'm talking about Ukraine.
Mm.
And, you know, like, yeah, I mean, it's just excellent. There
Mm.
is male and female, you know, but yeah,
Progress.
there's progress. Exactly. I
Well, and that's
mean,
what we can highlight too, you know, and I think if we highlight the people that are doing the good things in the community, then the people that aren't, they just become less relevant, you know, and if they want to use their voice for negativity and harm, then we can drown them
well,
out with love
I,
and kindness, you know.
I sometimes feel, you know, you and I and a lot of people who do understand LGBT community, they, they should be, um, they should protect humans. We are humans, okay? We don't say, okay, this is the dog and he is black and this is white dog, so I'm gonna love this dog and I'm not gonna like this dog. No, it dogs. Okay, they all come in different shapes and kinds, and see, I don't know why humans are,
Yeah,
you know, doing
absolutely.
this. I mean, to me, I love people for who they are and what they are.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you so much,
And
Oksana. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This will be saved. Let's continue the conversation. And Oksana, as always, it was just a privilege and a pleasure. Thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you, Kate.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
Johnny. Thank
Спасибо
you.
большое.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.